And welcome back to my broadcast. We're getting close to the Christmas holidays, the holiday season, if you will. They're the Christmas holidays for me. They're the Hanukkah holidays that are special times a year for our Jewish friends. And we celebrate specific holidays, and I like to join in celebrating theirs, just like I like to celebrate ours. Share a couple of interesting stories that I came across this week that reflect on the holiday season and special things that can happen in your life. I have a friend that sent me an email. He's a fellow I've known for a long time. His wife died of cancer. He's raising 3 kids, one of which is disabled, still works a full-time job. And a lot of people say, gosh, we're just so sorry for you. And he sent this to me because I wished him happy holidays and knew all he was going through. And he sent me this particular saying. He said, you don't have a right to the cards you believe you should have been dealt. You have an obligation to play the hell out of the cards you're holding. And I think that's so true. Life's not fair. We all have balances in our life and things that we have to do and make the best of the situation in which we have. Good lesson, I think, for the holidays. Another call I got this week I thought was worth sharing with you. Had a friend that was on the track team with me at the University of North Carolina back in the early 1960s. I'd not talked to him in all these years, going on 65, 70 years. He called me out of the blue, remembered his name, but I didn't have a lot of remembering about any special events going back that far. And he said he just wanted to call to reminisce with me and thank me for being a friend. And he gave one specific example that I share with you. He said that he always wanted to challenge me to a 100-yard dash race. He was a quarter miler and I was a sprinter. And sprinters run a little faster than quarter milers, but quarter milers have more endurance. And we ran on the same team together. I often ran relays with him. And so one day he wanted to challenge me to a 100-yard dash race. He thought he could beat me, or at least wanted to see what he could do. I said I would accept. I'd met him down at the track on a mid-morning where we were going to run the race. We both got loose. We were joking about it. Didn't really matter who won. We were having fun. And so the next day we were to run the race. We were kind of joking about the day before. And he came down to the track. He said, I've got some really terrible news. And I said, well, gosh, what's the matter? He said, I just got word that my father just passed away. I said, well, I'm so sorry. I know you'll be going home. And he says, well, I've got to take the bus. The buses leave for about 4 hours. So I'm just going to be here for the next 4 hours. And in any event, he said, I'm going to stay here by the track. I'll take the bus. He says, you know what I'd really like to do? I said, what's that? He says, I'd like to run that 100-yard dash. He said, it's just something in my system. I'd like to go ahead and run that 100-yard dash with you. And I didn't remember the event, but I'm sure it's exactly as he said he remembered. So I agreed to run the 100-yard dash with him. We ran the race, and he beat me. Not by much. It was neck and neck right at the better end, and he beat me. So he reiterated, he was telling me all this. And he said, I always wanted to ask you after these years, because you were so concerned about me. And by the way, after the race, I had a car, drove him to the bus station, and he went back to make preparation to bury his father. And he said, I wanted to ask you this question, Jim, if I could. I said, what's that? Did you let me win that race? Did you let me win that race? I didn't remember the race. I just didn't remember the event. And I said, no, I didn't let you win that race. If we raced, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that. I'd have gone on and beat you if I could have, but you beat me fair and square. Very memorable to him, an event, a small token of friendship that he carried with him all these years, going back 65 years. Remember that particular event. So there's fond memories of the holidays where you help, where you can make a difference, where you play the cards you're dealt. And I think if the holidays are here, it's time to reflect on things like that, reviewing your year. I've talked before on my radio show, and I'll talk about it again this Sunday, about how we started Thanksgiving. And when we bless what we have, then we move into the rebirth for the coming year. We move into the Christmas season if you're Christian, or the rebirth of Christ. And then you go into a brand new year. So Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's all flow together as part of a rebirth. Time to reflect, as the pilgrims did at Thanksgiving, thanking them for what they had, but then planning for your future as the new year comes about. share those two stories with you. I certainly hope you and your family are getting together for the Christmas holidays. Still got a little time to do so. I've got to get my last minute shopping done, but I'm glad you're watching my radio show. I'll be here each week at this time to do a little vignette about what the show's about. I'll be talking to you on the weekend on the Jim Brown radio program, Common Sense radio program. Our website is, you're watching it here right now, radiocommonsense.com. Have a nice holiday. I'll talk to you again next week. Take care.